Now at 10, the latest on a shooting in Texas that's claimed the lives of at least 19 children and 2 adults. Plus, the mother of a Joplin High School student who died in 2019 files a wrongful death lawsuit against some school staff. And how a workshop in Joplin is helping businesses learn how to recruit and retain workers.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
A community and nation are in mourning tonight after a gunman in Texas opened fire at an elementary school. This is KOAM News at 10. The Texas Department of Public Safety says at least 19 children and 2 adults were killed. Police say the suspected shooter, an 18-year-old, is also dead. Reporter Aaron Jones has the latest.
The shooting started shortly after 11:30 a.m. at Robb Elementary School in Uvalde, a town roughly 85 miles west of San Antonio.
He shot and killed horrifically, incomprehensibly.
Investigators identified the suspect as 18-year-old Salvador Ramos, a high school senior from Uvalde.
He himself is deceased and is believed that responding officers killed him.
2 of those officers were wounded and are expected to survive.
We are not actively looking for another individual or any other suspects in this case.
Parents and family members rushed to the school and local hospitals looking for loved ones. This woman is looking for her niece.
We have not yet gotten any answers of where her whereabouts are at.
It happened less than 2 weeks after a gunman shot 10 people dead at a Buffalo, New York supermarket. President Biden addressed the tragedy after returning to the White House from Japan.
I'd hoped when I became president, I would not have to do this.
Tuesday's tragedy was the deadliest school shooting in Texas history and the worst in the U.S. since a gunman killed 26 at Sandy Hook Elementary in Connecticut in 2012. Aaron Jones, CBS News, Uvalde, Texas.
President Biden has ordered flags at all public buildings be lowered to half-staff to honor the victims. Let's check in with Doug Hetty for a first look at the weather.
Well, temperatures for us today a little bit chilly for this time of the year as we did go into the upper 60s to near 70, but we should be topping out at 80 for this time of the year. Of course, the clouds, the scattered showers, some thunderstorms, that is what has kept the temperatures down. We still have periods of showers and thunderstorms in southwestern Missouri. The good news here is we aren't dealing with anything too strong or severe, which is always great. Now, where you see the yellows popping up, Lawrence County down through Berry County, eastern Newton, eastern parts of McDonald County, that is moderate to heavy amounts of rain. A little finger trying to kind of pick up in northeastern parts of Oklahoma. But I do think things are going to calm down over the next several hours. They will start to flare up again late tonight into tomorrow morning. We'll get a pretty big batch of showers and thunderstorms that is going to lift through, especially mid to late morning into the early afternoon hours. Of course, we're going to look into the holiday weekend as well here in just a bit.
See you then. The mother of a Joplin High School student who died after an asthma attack during a football practice in 2019 is suing some school staff. Authorities say Caden Roberts Day passed away on September 4th of 2019 from cardiac arrest caused by the asthma attack. The football team was practicing inside a Joplin High School gymnasium because of intense heat that day. Officials say Caden had a history of severe asthma but was cleared by a doctor to play sports. Well, now his mother, LaShonda Roberts, is suing several staff members at the time for wrongful death. The lawsuit alleges school staff did not act quickly enough to help Caden. Surveillance images in the suit show Caden apparently hunched over trying to catch his breath. The lawsuit also alleges he was unconscious for 2 minutes before 911 was called and that the school did not follow its own policies. We've reached out to the school for comment but have not heard back. You can read more about the suit on our website. That's KOAMnewsnow.com. The Joplin Chamber today hosted a workshop to address the area's workers shortage and pinpoint employee retention issues. A Joplin group called Life Work Talent Consulting spoke with area managers on recruiting, retaining, and attracting workers to Joplin. They say the option to work from home has made it harder for the area's workforce.
If they're unhappy, your work trying to find other employees is going to be even harder. So most likely your internal workforce, they're tired, they're burnt out, they're working very leanly. They used to do one job, now they do the job of 3 people.
Area employers say one of the biggest issues they face is recruiting people to live in Joplin. Some area organizations teamed up to give people in need access to resources and potential employment opportunities. The Community Foundation of Southeast Kansas, the City of Pittsburgh, Kansas Works, and the Pittsburgh Chamber of Commerce hosted a community job and resource fair. More than 60 area vendors showed up, offering educational opportunities, community resources, and possible jobs.
Communities that can help assist with those costs for educational needs and connect them with employers, just to bring the whole community together, that we're here and we can make a difference and we can help people out, and that's what we're doing.
The Job and Resource Fair took place at Pittsburgh's Memorial Auditorium. An organization dedicated to preserving the historic Murfreesburg district of Joplin is celebrating the completion of a hand-drawn map of the area. Historic Murfreesburg Preservation, Inc. commissioned local artist Paula Giltner to illustrate the map. Another local, Patty Shade, produced a key for the map to educate viewers about points of interest. The map will be used to promote heritage tourism in the area.
When I first saw an architectural rendering when I was a teenager, I thought, that's what I want to do. And sure enough, the opportunity came up for me. So I did that for many years.
People today were able to receive an autographed copy of the map and learn about how it was made. Voters in Arkansas went to the polls today for the state's primary election. Some of the races today included for governor and U.S. Senate seat. On the Republican side of the governor's race, former White House Press Secretary Sarah Huckabee Sanders wins the nomination by a large margin. On the Democratic side, Chris Jones wins that nomination easily, taking 72% of the vote in that race. In the race for the Republican nomination to fill the U.S. Senate seat currently held by John Boozman, the incumbent wins that race. And for the Democrats, Natalie James is the frontrunner for the nomination. She currently has 58% of the vote. You can find the latest results for these races and others in Arkansas on our website. That's KOAMnewsnow.com. Coming up, how an Arkansas Rehabilitation Institute is turning to virtual reality as a form of therapy. Plus, Abbott Nutrition announces when its closed baby formula plant will begin production again. Patients at a rehabilitation institute in Arkansas are turning to technology for treatment. Physical therapists are now using virtual reality to help with anything from range of motion to memory. Reporter Claire Kritz has more.
Sensors strapped in, headset on.
Let's try a different game here.
I got to put the new virtual reality system at the Baptist Health Rehabilitation Institute in Little Rock to the test.
Lean forwards.
Lou Treader is a physical therapist here and says the real immersive system can be used for a wide range of patients.
We see a lot of neuro patients, so stroke, brain injury, spinal cord, but we also see orthopedic patients.
Each game targets a different area, whether it's balance.
Say our patient has difficulty with sitting balance, moving forwards and backwards and reaching towards items.
Or range of motion.
I missed all of them.
All while recording progress and giving feedback along the way.
So maybe they start out only being able to bend their arm maybe 90 degrees, and we can program it to, for certain games, that they get positive reinforcement if they get to that 100-degree range or 120-degree range or on up to a normal range.
While working their body, most of these scenarios also have a component to work the mind as well.
To work on their memory or sequencing of different items.
While some games I passed with flying colors.
Fantastic.
Others were a little more challenging.
I quit.
Okay. But overall, Treader says this tool helps patients tap into their competitive side while making them stronger day after day.
The more engaged they are in the activity, the more they buy into it, the more likely they are to reach the goals that they're trying to attain.
A local foundation today made some great big donations to area organizations. The Joplin Regional Community Foundation's Philanthropic Society handed out $50,000 grants to 3 organizations in different categories. One category was housing. That grant went to Loving Grace. In the category of barriers to work and prosperity, Higher Power Garage was chosen, and Jasper County CASA won the grant for community health.
And the $50,000 we received is going to be going directly to programming for these young women, providing case management services and the programs that they need in order to learn how to be a successful adult in the community. And so that's, our entire housing program would be geared towards that.
The grant winners were announced at a private luncheon hosted by the foundation. The company at the heart of the baby formula shortage says it plans to restart its plant next week. Abbott Nutrition says it'll restart production at its facility in Sturgis, Michigan on June 4th. But the company does not expect the first batches of new formula to be available until around June 20th. Abbott shut down its Sturgis plant back in February after FDA investigators found bacteria in several areas inside the plant. This led to a nationwide recall of its baby formula products. If you're an adult who tests positive for COVID-19, you have a 1 in 5 chance of experiencing at least one long COVID symptom. That's according to a study published by the CDC. For seniors 65 and older, the CDC says your chances of long COVID symptoms increase to 1 in 4. Researchers found the most common conditions among all adults were respiratory symptoms and musculoskeletal pain. COVID patients were also twice as likely as other patients to have conditions affecting the lungs. Hey, move over milk. Scientists believe the next big source of vitamin D could come from a lab. Researchers say they've edited tomato genes and think the fruit has the potential to produce vitamin D. This could be big news for vegans and vegetarians, giving them a plant-based source, since the two best dietary sources for vitamin D currently are still dairy and fish. A little bit later, what a new study shows about climate change's potential impact on sleep in the future.
Plus, we've been cool and wet across the region. When are we going to warm up? We're going to look at that coming up. Well, it turned out to be another wet, gloomy day for us once again today. Temperatures only into the upper 60s, on and off showers and thunderstorms. Kind of like we saw late yesterday into the morning hours today. And this is what we're going to see over the next couple days. Indigo Sky Casino and Resort, of course, Indigo is just outside of Seneca, Missouri, but looks okay as of right now. I don't know how I ended up so short on this camera, but we're going to go for it. But you can see most of us are sitting into the mid 60s right now. Outside 7th and Rangeline, currently sitting at 64. Southerly winds 5 to 10. Humidity is way up there at about 63%. All right, scattered showers, thunderstorms on and off throughout the day. You can see southwestern parts of Missouri. That's where we've had the scattered showers and thunderstorms over the past couple hours. None of these too strong, none of these are severe, so that's nothing that we have to worry about. But we are going to have these kind of out here for the next few hours. Again, nothing too strong or severe. Some heavier amounts of rain once you get over toward Mount Vernon, Monette, down toward Cassville into Benton County. But I really think the next few hours pretty calm. Then they'll pick up again later on tonight. All right, look at our upper level low. Slowly tracks over us over the next 2 days. This should have been a pretty good severe weather setup for us. It tracked a little too far south, pulled in a little bit too much cold air. End result, we still get the rain, but we don't have the severe weather. So, works out good. But until it passes by, we're going to have rain chances. That's what we have in the forecast. As we go through the rest of the overnight hours, some hit and miss isolated storms. These will increase a little bit mid to late morning. We're going to get a band of showers and thunderstorms that lift through the region. And then I think by the afternoon, we get a little bit of sunshine and just a random isolated storm. Starting at 60, 64 by noon, very similar temps, up to about 67, southerly winds 5 to 15. Tomorrow night, I think most of the night we look pretty good until late tomorrow night. We'll start to see showers, thunderstorms increase again as we go into Thursday morning. Thursday, we'll have periods of showers and thunderstorms. Again, none of these too strong, none of these severe. So that is very good news. And then finally, this storm system starts to rotate out of here by the time we head into late on Thursday. All right, additional rainfall amounts. I think most of us are going to be in that ½ inch to an inch, which is pretty soggy. and it looks like it's going to stay pretty soggy the next couple days. 67 tomorrow, 63 Thursday. Look at this. We warm up into the holiday weekend. We go into the 80s for highs. Mother Nature right on cue, the unofficial start of summer. What about severe weather, though? We've gotten pretty lucky over the past, we've had a lot of severe weather events. We just haven't had a big one. But severe weather chances return right after Memorial Day. And then once we get to about the 16th, that Orange Day, that's pretty much the end of severe weather season. So we still have a few weeks to go, but at least the thunderstorms we get over the next couple days, we don't have to worry about anything like that.
Okay, just watch out for that Orange Day.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, Doug. If you're planning on getting on the water this Memorial Day weekend, I know a lot of you are, it's important to be safe. The Grand River Dam Authority has provided some tips. Number one, wear a life jacket when you're on the water. Shut off the boat's engines when people are in the water nearby. Know the location where you're boating or swimming and check the weather forecast before getting on the water. You can do that with the KOAM Skywatch weather app. You can get severe weather updates and a look at the forecast absolutely free of charge. It's available in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store, the KOAM Skywatch weather app. Here's some new research that might cause you to lose some sleep, literally. According to a worldwide study published in the journal One Earth, people could get up to 58 hours less shut-eye annually by the year 2099 due to global warming. Those involved with the data say people who live in warmer climates are more likely to not get as much sleep as individuals who sleep in cooler temperatures. So they say the warmer the planet gets due to global warming, the less sleep is expected. Still ahead, Crowder College softball hits the field tonight in the opening round of the national tournament, and Diamond clinches its first ever softball state championship. Jacob Leonard has that and more up next.
We have two local softball teams playing for state titles today in Southwest Missouri. First up, the Diamond Wildcats hit the field against Skyline, aiming to bring home the Class II state championship. At Diamond, trying for their first ever state title today, while Skyline tries to make it back-to-back. The Tigers strike first. This is Grace Edge in the second inning, off the foul pole out and left. Solo homer makes it 1-0 Skyline. Diamond, though, rips off 6 straight runs, including 4 in the 7th. The big one, this 3-run bomb to straightaway center from Lexi Bridges. That breaks it open. Diamond leads it 6-1. The defending champs, though, not going down without a fight. With 2 runs already in, the single here scores 1 more, but Caitlin Surrey saves the run with the great throw from center field. Diamond holds on to win at 6-4. The Wildcats capture their first ever state championship. In Class 1, the Jasper Eagles hit the field this afternoon against Wellington Napoleon, aiming for a state title. But the Eagles fall a little short 7-2. Jasper finishes as the Class 1 state runner-up with a 16-10 overall record. Well, this week is a big week for Crowder College. The Crowder baseball team hit the road to Grand Junction, Colorado today for their second straight appearance in the Junior College World Series. Meanwhile, Crowder softball is also in the national tournament, playing their first game tonight in Yuma, Arizona. The Rough Riders are the 10 seed, facing 7th-seeded McLennan this evening. So far, Crowder has been held hitless. They trail at 6-0 in the bottom of the 5th. The Columbus Titans will make their first ever appearance in the 3A state baseball tournament this week. The Titans are the 3 seed in the state bracket and will face 6-seeded Sabetha on Thursday in Manhattan. Now, Columbus heads into the state tournament with a 20-2 overall record. Their only 2 losses came to league rivals Girard and Frontenac. Girard, by the way, is also in the 3A state bracket. Now, for Columbus, it is their first time going to state, so it's a new experience, but they're trying to keep things loose.
There's a lot of focus, but we're just having fun with it. Coach Ted's never made it this far, and none of us have either, so we're having a lot of fun with it. He was saying that his arm was hurting a couple days ago because he has never made it this far, but we're just having a lot of fun with it, but we're staying focused and worried about winning games out there.
We've had a lot of good baseball players come through Columbus, and but our league and our regional has just been so dang tough. So, but you know, it's great. The community support has been so awesome. I got great assistant coaches in Troy Harity and Taylor Spear, and they help me a lot to keep these kids focused, and they'll be ready.
Finally, Kansas High School State Golf. It was cut a little short today with 2-day tournaments across the state being cut to just 1 day due to the weather. Still, though, plenty of local players placing at state. All these people on your screen finished in the top 10. Chanute, Drayton, Cleaver actually won the 4A individual state championship, shooting a 2 over 74. In Class 3A, Neodesha's Kyle Eggers finishes in 5th. Then we had 2 top 10 finishes in Class 2A with Colgan's Nick Eisen taking 5th, and Yates Center's Jack King right behind him in 6th. And that's a look at sports. We're back with more news after this.
Take time now to honor a local veteran. F. Stammer served in the U.S. Air Force. The Oswego, Kansas native was stationed in the Aleutian Islands. And we salute Staff Sergeant F. Stammer, a 4-state hero. And some good news for a near-threatened animal species. At least 14 baby bison have been born at Minneopa State Park in Minnesota this season. That is a record number for a single season. Might have been as many as 16 bison born this year, but getting a precise count is kind of tough because the animals, well, they're constantly moving around. I would also think the fact that, bison kind of tend to look pretty similar. The park had 31 total bison before the new births, so the population is booming for that park.
It's good because they were in real trouble not too long ago.
Yes, they still are in a bit of trouble, but not nearly what they were a generation ago for sure.
Going in the right direction.
You bet. The weather.
We will eventually go in the right direction. Not as wet tomorrow, just kind of, we are going to have morning storms, but the afternoon, pretty good, 67. Showers back in for Thursday. Good news here, we don't have to deal with severe weather. Also good news, it's going to feel like summer as we head into the holiday weekend.
Final sports note.
We told you Crowder College baseball hit the road to Grand Junction today. Their first game in the JUCO World Series is on the 29th.
We wish them well. Thanks for joining us. Morning show begins at 5 a.m. Let's make it a great tomorrow.